Hello everyone, as I'm recording this, it is Wednesday, March the 6th, 2019. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still staying out here at Lithia Springs Park in Lithia, Florida, and working at the Plant City Strawberry Festival. About this time last week, I was putting up my birthday video, the 12 things I wish I could tell to my younger self, the illustrated video, and I promised you guys that if you reached 300 subscribers before the 26th, that I would put up a bonus video, a second illustrated video within 7 days of the 26th. And you guys did it. You not only hit 300 subscribers, it was 301. It was an extra 16 subscribers just appeared overnight, and I was so proud of you guys. So it's time for me to hold up my end of the bargain and get you guys that extra bonus video. I think this is the last day. I got to get it up today. It would have been up sooner, but this Strawberry Festival has really confiscated me, guys. It has been 11, 12-hour work days, and then the commute back and forth to the campgrounds. And I got the illustrations done. That wasn't really that hard, but it's been trying to get this part, the audio and the editing of it done, because, man, they are really sticklers out there about using your phone. Normally, I do my editing between customers, but the managers of the ride company came by and saw me using my phone, doing video editing. They would have given me some dings and written me up. So anyway, here we go. This video is 8 shocking things that I have not revealed to you guys yet about myself. Number 1, I can juggle. Kind of. Number 2, I am a college graduate. Yeah, this basically homeless guy that lives in a camper, travels around from campground to campground, drawing funny portraits at fairs and festivals. I am a college graduate. Not just that, but I graduated with honors, a 4.0 GPA, and zero student loan debt. Now, to be fair, it's basically just a general studies, I think they call it applied technology, associates from a community college, but it was accredited. And the way that I did it was I never took a whole lot of classes all at one time. During my core class time, I was working full-time, and I only took like 1 or 2 classes at a time. Then during that real intense period where I was learning Illustrator, Cork Express, and Photoshop, and just doing a lot of that, I was actually working full-time and going to school full-time during that period. And that was when I first started working at Six Flags. That was the busiest part of my life. Working part-time on the weekends, working full-time, and going to school full-time. I don't know how I did it. I basically didn't sleep. I didn't keep that up for very long. I eventually quit my job so I could concentrate more on school. And the way that I did the zero student loan debt was I took advantage of something called the Hope Pell Grant, which was something that the Georgia Lottery, I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but the Georgia Lottery was doing this at one time, that if your household income was below a certain amount, you qualified for it, and as long as you kept a 3.5 GPA or better, then they would pay a certain amount per semester. And so, and they had a little bit of a book allowance as well. So I bought my books used, I borrowed books, and so if you did that, then the book allowance that you didn't use, actually they sent it to you in a check. So there was some semesters I actually got paid. I got a few $100. So that really was all there was to it. I just took it a little bit at a time, spread a 2-year degree out over something like 3.5 years, and got the lottery players to pay for it for me. Number 3, I have a little bit of a soft spot for spiders and snakes. Yeah, I have literally found venomous snakes alive. I found one in my apartment complex one time. I've seen them in like the woods when I was a kid, and didn't kill them. As a matter of fact, the one that I found in my apartment complex, I actually got it up off the road so it wouldn't get run over, and left it. The one that I found in the woods when I was a kid, I actually brought it home. That's a story for another time. That was a fun one. Brought it home, and my dad took it, to some really wooded areas without a lot of people around it, about a half mile away from the house, and released it. And so I've always kind of seen venomous snakes as being like the outliers, the underdogs, the ones that are ugly and everybody hates. And so to compensate, I feel like I need to kind of protect them a little bit. I know that sounds weird, right? But yeah, venomous snakes and even spiders. I think like the big banana spiders, the one that put the zigzag in the middle of their web and they make the giant webs. I love to watch those things. I think they're really cute. They're a pretty collar. I like how they vibrate their web when they're trying to snag, get a beetle or something caught it even more. When I was a kid, we used to, have big porch lights, and they tended to build their nest around or under the porch lights because the bugs would fly at it. They were smart enough to know the bugs are going to fly at the light, and we can catch more bugs that way. And I would just sit out on the porch and watch them catching moths and wrapping them up. And I would even sometimes catch flies and stuff and throw it in their web for them. And yeah, I never really thought they were real ugly. I thought they were really fascinating. And in that short period, those few months after Loki died and before I got Nestor, I started getting spiders in my camper. And I could tell, when they were not venomous. And they're like the little black ones, or the jumping spiders, and I would actually be laying in my bed in my camper looking up at the ceiling, and I would see familiar spiders that I had seen the night before crawling by, and I was like, oh look, there he is again. And I would go on to sleep. Partly, I like to have them in there, partly because you don't want to be sleeping with mosquitoes, and they find their way in. You got vent holes and stuff. The mosquitoes are going to fly in, and they'll bite you while you're asleep. But if you've got a few spiders in the corners of your camper, a lot less mosquitoes. So, but then when I got Nestor, he killed all my spiders. Nestor killed all my spiders. He can't stand them. He sees them moving. He's like, oh, it's alive. I got to eat it. So he kills my spiders. I can't keep spiders in my camper anymore. But yeah, there you go. I have a soft spot for snakes, even the venomous ones, and spiders. I know that's weird, but that's me. Number 4. I did not get my first speeding ticket until I was 36 years old. And even then, it was because I was rushing to get to Indiana to set up for the Covered Bridge Festival, and at about 2:30 in the morning, going through Ohio, I didn't realize that I was getting close to a city and the highway speed limit reduced. And as soon as I saw those blue lights, flashing lights come on behind me, I immediately started to pull over. And the first thing the cop said when she got up to my window was, well, I'm getting you for speeding. You want me to get you for evading as well? No fondness for cops here, guys. The attitude on some of them. I'm 38 now, and I've had a total of 2 speeding tickets. A few more if you count the lights, the cameras, the speeding cameras. I don't think those really count, though. So 2 speeding tickets in my life, and just another reason why I don't care for Ohio very much at all. I've worked the Ohio State Fair, and nah. Man, you guys in Ohio are cutthroat. Look at that. We've got an out-of-state tag. Welcome to Ohio. Here's your speeding ticket. Give us some money. We want your money. Number 5. Once in my early 20s, I won a church-wide talent night by doing nothing more than standing in the middle of a stage and quoting a 2-page poem that I had written myself flawlessly. It took the better part of 5 minutes to quote the entire thing, but I won. One person by myself. No props, no music, just standing there with the microphone. It was one of the proudest days of my life. To put this in perspective, this was officially a youth group talent night, but if you could participate at any age, we did have some adults that came in and sang songs and did skits as well. The church was about 500 people in regular attendance, and a lot of them were there, and there was a lot of competition. But I came away with the grand prize, and that was a very, very proud day of my life. I had been going to that same church since I was a little kid, and wasn't always the most popular one there. Kind of an outcast, really. And to be able to come into a talent night one day, it felt like the end of Napoleon Dynamite, where he did his dance and finally showed the entire place just how cool he could be if they gave him a chance. That's the way I felt on that night. Yeah, I remember it fondly. Number 6. My spirit animal is a tortoise. Number 7. I do a lot of fantasizing and dreaming about what it would be like to be the only human being on Earth. I know, that sounds a little narcissistic too, doesn't it? But that wouldn't be a nightmare for me. I would love it. And I can't be the only person that fantasizes about this. I mean, look at how many movies have been made with this premise, even as far back as The Twilight Zone. If you remember the one story about the guy that couldn't stop reading, he loves to read, and then he goes into the bank vault, and there's a nuclear blast, and he comes out, and there's nothing but a bunch of charred silhouettes everywhere, and he's actually happy about it, and he's piling up books, and he's like, now he can read as much as he wants, and nobody can judge him for it. Totally related to that. Totally. 38 Days Later, and I Am Legend, and Omega Man, and so many movies done with this premise. Of course, most of them have to deal with some kind of zombie outbreak. But to me, the ideal fantasy would be one where, one day I would just wake up and every single human being is just turned into a pile of brick powder, and I'm the only person left. All the buildings, cars, everything's still there, but there's nobody to judge me. There's nobody to hold me up to a standard. There's nobody to please. It's just me and the planet. And I'm free to do whatever I want, say whatever I want. And there's no eyes. I would love it. I would celebrate. Please tell me I'm not totally weird for this. I can't be the only one that actually would love a situation like that. And number 8. As much as you guys might love my artwork, and I make a living at it, and my customers seem to really like my artwork, and they come back for more pictures the next year a lot of times, among other artists that make their living at it, my peers, my artwork, my style, my illustrations is almost universally hated. Yes, and I'm not exaggerating, guys. And yes, I'm talking about all of them, even the artists that you have seen on this vlog, even them. They may have gone from that point where they hate my artwork to where they tolerate it, but they certainly don't like it. And they're my friends. And it's a terrible thing because as an artist, you don't want to please just the general public because that's not that hard to do. What you want is to please fellow artists, and you want to have the respect of your peers. But in my case, it seems like something that is almost unattainable. Other artists don't like my artwork, and some of the criticisms that I've heard is that it looks amateurish, I don't vary my line weight, my line quality is bad, I don't get a good likeness. I've had a lot of complaints about the way that I color. The list just goes on. And I've improved and worked at it, and even when I do improve, it's rarely acknowledged. It's just something about my artwork that you guys like it, but my fellow artists absolutely hate it. And so I told you guys that I'm going to be going to ISCA again this year. That's the International Society of Caricature Artists. And this time I'm going to be competing. But I don't want you guys to get your hopes up at all, because the people that are going to be judging my artwork are fellow artists. And like I said, in general, other artists dislike my artwork a great deal. Now, some of you are probably going to be wondering, if other artists hate your artwork so much, then why do you work in teams with them all the time? And a big reason why that is because a lot of them, while they hate my artwork and they dislike it, they're not rude about it. And when they tell me their criticisms, they're not mean about the way they tell me their criticisms. They, they challenge me. They challenge me and they inspire me because I get to see their artwork and kind of like incorporate little pieces of it into mine, and so I improve when I'm around them. And so I don't want to be just stuck, stagnant, drawing by myself, not being challenged. So I will always, even, you know, when I become incredibly independent and I don't really need, and I'm actually kind of at that point where I don't really need to work at fairs with other artists, but I will always do it anyway because I need to have that other artist next to me that challenges me, that says, man, you stink at this. Your line quality is bad. You should vary your line weight more. You should do this more. You should do that more. I need that. Every artist really needs that. It just hurts that I don't really have any real accolades, it feels like, and I don't really have the respect of my peers, and it really feels like I never will. But there you go, guys. That is all 8. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget to go ahead and smash that thumbs up like button. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and requests. Subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell icon to become part of the notification squad. And share this around. Get some friends to come in and subscribe as well. We're up to 310 now. So we're growing. And the more subscribers I get, the closer I'll get to that point where I can start getting merchandise and Patreon and start bringing some money in through this and be able to concentrate on it more and bring you guys even more videos and better content. So there you go. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.